Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Grass Center brought to you by Rocky Bioken. In today's episode, I am going to share 5 main reasons why you are getting your PhD applications rejected. In other words, I'm going to share 5 main reasons why people apply to a lot of schools and then still get rejected to all the schools that they apply to. It is very sad. It is very sad experience, and I wish nobody gets such experience anymore, even if you have had one already. And I believe that this is happening because of 5 main reasons that I have come across from my personal research and then engagement with some people in graduate school. Stay tuned, watch this video to the end, subscribe and then like this video for me, and I appreciate all your support. Once again, I am not an academic professor or I am not an expert. I am just sharing this based on my personal research and then the engagement that I've had with people. So I hear people saying that they have very good credentials. Like when you look at their academic CV, it is very good. When you look at their academic transcript, excellent. But they still apply to a lot of schools, about 5 or 10 schools, without getting accepted to any of them. So the question of the day is that why is this happening? What is the main cause of this? So the first reason is that one, the research interest that they have is not an interest of any of the professors in the school. In other words, what they are interested in is not an interest of the professors in the school. Let me give this scenario. You are interested in exploring a disease like diabetes mellitus, and then you are applying to a school in which all the professors in the department, none of them is interested in doing diabetes research. So when you do such an application, obviously they will not accept you because they believe that what you are interested in is not the interest of, their department. And no professor will be willing to take you to his or her lab and then mentor you as a graduate student. So always check and then make sure that your research interest aligns with what the professors in the school, are doing. When you do so, that will increase your chances of getting accepted. And this is just by the way. The second reason is that your research interest fails to address a burning problem in the area of interest. Like your research address a burning problem in your area of interest. You might be interested in a particular field of study. Let's say you are interested in cancer biology, and that is what you stated in your statement of purpose. But the exact problem that you would like to address is not a burning problem. It is not a problem that someone would be willing to sponsor with his or her money. Remember that the professors are proactively writing research grants and then seeking sponsorship to sponsor their works. So if your research interest or the exact thing that you would like to tackle is not something or it's not a problem that someone would be willing to support with money, it makes them feel that even if they accept you, your research is not going to attract any fund, and hence that kind of affects your application. It affects your application because they believe that your research interest is not strong enough for it to attract funding. So the question is, what can you do to counter this problem? You have to be someone who like reading. So you can go to a database like PubMed or even Google Scholar, and when you go there, type keywords relating to your research interest. Let's say you are interested in cancer biology, so you open PubMed and then you type like something like trends in cancer biology, and when you do so, you can screen the search to the past 6 months or maybe a maximum of 1 year. Just sort the papers to the last 6 months or the last 1 year. And when you do so, take time to at least read some of the papers. And when you read these papers, you get to know the areas that are currently emerging and then the areas that are attracting funding. And hence, you can center your research interest around that area. And I believe that when you center your research interest around that area and then you send your application, it will be a great boost for you. And aside your research interest not being able to solve a burning problem, the next reason that people get rejected is that they fail to network before they do their application. Networking in the sense that they don't reach out to anyone before they start the application. They just log into the school's website and then they check the program that they're interested in and then they file the application. Remember that you are competing with a lot of people worldwide. As you are sending your application, thousands of people all over the world are also sending the application. Someone is sending an email to a professor in the school first. Someone is trying to build a connection with the professor in the school first, whilst you are just sending your application. So as you are competing with someone who has already sent an email and then have gotten an approval from a professor in the school, obviously such a person has an upper hand over you to be accepted That is how it works. So I would always encourage you to network before you start your application. Send cold email to the professors in the school. Like to the best of my knowledge, before you start application, make sure that you have gotten a professor in the school before you begin the application. It doesn't mean that you can't get admission if you don't have a professor in the school. It doesn't mean that you cannot get accepted into a program without having a supervisor prior to your application. Yes, some people just get accepted to programs without the need to reach out to any professor in the school. They keep on saying that, but a lot of people, most of the people that I have engaged with, keep telling me that they had a professor in the school first before they begin their application. So you can give it a try and then try to get a professor in the school before you begin your actual application. And the networking is not only about sending an email to a professor first. You can also join information sessions that the school organizes. Follow the schools on their various social media platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook, and follow them when they publish a flyer about an upcoming virtual event. Try and then join. And normally, many schools even give application with fee waivers to the people who attend their virtual sessions. So that is a double bonus for you. So try as much as possible to network prior to your actual application. And then the third reason that I would like to tackle is that you lack proof of your skills. You lack proof of your skills. This goes to the people who are normally from the data science background, or people who are in the computer science background. You know, you can state in your SOP that you are proficient in, let's say, Python programming. And as you have stated that you are proficient in Python programming, how can you prove that you are actually proficient in that area? So you can decide to attach a typical example of a code that you have come up with, and that code can be uploaded as part of your supplementary application materials, or in the course of your code email to a particular professor. You can go ahead and then attach that particular code that you have done before as part of your attachment to the code email that you send to the professor. And also, if you have already published any paper, you can include maybe the data analysis part of that particular paper as part of your code email, to let the professor get to know that you are very good in data analysis, and that would also give you an upper hand for you to gain admission to your dream school that you are applying to. And then another reason why I think people also keep getting rejection is that they fail to leverage on second chances. They don't take second chance into consideration. What do I mean by second chance? So maybe you are interested in a particular school. You sent your application last year and then you got rejection. You just let it end there. And then this year too, you are planning of applying to the same school, and you are just going to repeat the same thing like you did last year. The second chance comes in. This is what I mean by second chance. Let's say when you send the application this year and then unfortunately for you, you got rejection. Don't let it end there. Do follow up. Send a subsequent, or like send a follow-up email to the grad school coordinator or whoever sent you the rejection letter, that like you just want to find out where your application went wrong, so that you can put in much effort and then better yourself in that area and then reapply again. You can do that. And aside that, some applications too might be that some messages or some rejection messages that, or rejection emails that you get, might be out of mistake. I want to use my personal self as an example. I remember that I received a letter, or like I received an email from my graduate school that I have been accepted to the program prior to my actual application letter came. So the grad school coordinator in my department sent me an email first that I have been accepted to the program. So I should just wait for the official application letter to arrive from my graduate school, like the admission committee, or sorry, the international admission committee, because they are those in charge of issuing the admission letter. So I was just waiting for the letter, and then the first letter that was sent to me was that, "I'm sorry, you've been rejected." I was like, what do you guys mean? How can you tell me this story? Because I already received an email from my graduate school coordinator that I have been accepted to the program. So what are you guys trying to tell me? So I just sent them an email that, no, I think there is a mistake here, because I have already received a notice that I've been accepted to the program. So why this email? And they said, oh, it was a mistake. Like, it was a mistake. They are very sorry for that, and I should wait for the raw, like the actual letter, and within a few minutes they sent me my actual application letter. That is how it works. So it might be that maybe your rejection too might be as a result of a mistake. It might be that the rejection letter that you received is as a result of a mistake. So always try to do follow up your applications. When you do the follow up, it might be that there is a mistake and then they will rectify it for you and then give you your actual admission offer. And then my last reason that I would like to talk about today is that you are not addressing funding gaps as part of your application. You know, there are some schools that are such that they have funding all right, but their funding are not, meant for international students, or their funding it's not full, like it's not full to cover your maybe your tuition, your living expenses, and then other stuff. And they believe that even if they accept you into their program, you will not be able to pay all this amount, and hence they won't go ahead and then take you into their program. So you can also address some funding issues as part of your code email. How are you going to address it? Let the professor or whoever you're sending the email to get to know that you would also make much effort to try and then apply for maybe research grants or some other scholarships that are available in your home country. You know, many countries have their internal funds that they use to sponsor people abroad. So you can leverage on this and then let whoever you are sending the email to get to know that when you get accepted to the program, you would leverage on like your admission and then also seek additional funding opportunities to support your studies in that particular school. So I think that by considering all these 5 tips that I have shared, it would go a long way to help you in your next application cycle. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Watch us for additional insightful episodes. See you another time.